All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Azizi podcast, and I'm its host Samir Azizi. It's been a while. I took a little break. I had a little. I had to, kind of go back to my creative mind and see what else we can do. So today we're doing something different. We're upping our quality a little bit, and hopefully it will work. My guest today is Dhruv Sharma. He's been here before, and as usual, he is here as my guinea pig. We are testing this thing, and I only trust this guy to make sure that everything works. So he will critique everything that we're doing because last time he gave me very good leads. What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So a couple rules. So you don't have to look at the camera.
Okay.
We are just going to have a conversation.
Okay.
My look at the camera was just as an introduction, so we'll see. We're gonna have some audio issues probably. So if we'll have them, we will stop this video and we will kind of restart everything again.
All right.
Other than that, everything is pretty good. By the way, just look at yourself one more time. Make sure that everything is fine. Like the microphone does not close your face. I feel like, yeah. You good?
Good.
Awesome. Good. Perfect. All right, I'm so excited, man. Like it's been a while. It's been a month since I've done it. I was kind of overwhelmed with everything. Like I got this new job. Like I was sleeping, dreaming, like everything about this job. So I was like really trying to like put in, and I'm still do, but like I still want to have this in my life as well as it's my favorite hobby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited to restart this whole thing again. And this is actually episode number 60.
Yeah. You had quite the transformation yourself. You look very lean and fit.
Oh yeah, thanks for noticing that. I'm glad you said that because I can finally brag about that I lost 15.2 kilograms or 30 something pounds of weight purely by just eating not too much and pigging out on Saturdays. But it's pretty much calorie deficit, low carb diet that I had.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like one of my coronavirus kind of like a thing, like the whole pandemic, like challenges, you educate yourself and you lose weight.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like it's pretty cool, like to feel 30 pounds leaner. It's a great experience. I almost feel like you are.
Thank you. It makes a lot of difference, guys. So let's look at this guy. He's done well for himself.
Thank you. Hey, losing weight. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably gonna gain it all back by the New Year's. Oh man, but tomorrow's your birthday.
Yes, it is.
I'm so excited about the party tomorrow.
Thank you. There's gonna be a lot of food, a lot of people. It's gonna be the whole United Nations out there.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah. Now that you said about it, I'm kind of worried about the coronavirus again. I think I'm gonna be obviously we're gonna self-distance 6 feet apart, and I'm gonna be wearing my mask.
Of course.
But yeah, like overall, I'm just excited to see you guys and just to have fun. Last time we just chilled here on the patio, had some pizza and some wine, so that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, you did not drink anything, so.
I know, like driving, but I looked at the fantastic view, and guys, his view is fantastic. You can see the whole Toronto skyline. It's to die for.
That's true. I was fortunate enough to find this apartment with this beautiful view of Toronto, downtown Toronto, and I posted that on my Instagram several times. So if you're following me on Instagram at AZZ, you'll probably saw that. But yeah, the view is beautiful, and we have this beautiful patio. And we're just talking to you. I was just talking to you about you actually proposed to do a podcast on the patio with the view behind us.
Yeah.
I think that would be great though. Like I need to check. I'm gonna run some tests. Basically, I'm gonna bring up some mics to the balcony, and I'm gonna do some recording tests and see because it's very noisy outside. I mean, even though it's a quiet part of town, like it's still noisy.
Yeah, but trust me, guys, it's like a wallpaper. Like the view, like you love to see it.
It's very representative of where we are.
Yeah,
it's very, very Canadian podcast if you'll see the view.
Exactly.
Because you see the CN Tower right in front of you, so that's pretty cool. All right, well, enough bragging about my beautiful view.
Yes.
What are we gonna do tomorrow, man? Tell me about the party.
Oh, the party's gonna be lots of food. I'm gonna make some butter chicken. Some people are getting other things.
Here's the thing, though.
What?
I'm excited about the butter chicken, but I'm afraid of something. I think I'm gonna eat it all, and I'm not gonna I don't think there's gonna be enough food, man.
There's gonna be way more.
Are you sure?
Enough. Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm saving up. Like I usually eat everything on Saturdays, but just for you, I'm doing this on Sunday.
I'll make extra.
Okay.
I'll make something extra.
I'll bring some pizzas too. Vegetarian as requested.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just gonna eat something tomorrow before birthday so that I'm not going nuts. But
just to clarify, I'm not vegetarian. But some people who are coming to the party, they are. So gotta look out for them.
Yeah, gotta look out for. And actually, I love pizza with like just the cheese and vegetarian, not vegan. FYI.
Yeah, just that's the max we go to vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't care. Like as long as there's cheese, man. I discovered this freaking, I don't know, obsession with Parmesan.
Yeah,
You know, usually like my experience with Parmesan is just like you sprinkle a little bit on your pizza or on your pasta. This time I went to Freshco and I several times and I bought myself like an actual freaking piece of parm,
yeah.
like a solid piece of parm for $10.
$10.
Yeah.
You can get a whole jar of Parmesan from Costco for $9.
What is a jar?
It's I think it's 500 grams and it's got grated Parmesan cheese. It's
Mm.
real
Mm-hmm.
and it's just $9. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
good
that's a good
value.
idea
Yeah.
because you can't get Parmesan cheese anymore from Freshco here. I don't know why, but they're just like getting like people. I'm guessing everyone's just stealing it right away.
Hmm.
But man, that's freaking meth or something. Like it's just so delicious, especially with wine or like with something else, or just like on top of like whatever you're eating, just have a little Parmesan. Just
Just
like
sprinkle some
well,
on
I don't
top.
sprinkle, so
Yeah.
I actually cut this, you know,
Okay.
because it's a solid piece of parm.
Yeah.
So I cut it in like in the thin layers, and I also do some green onions and all of that, and I was just like drinking wine and eating cheese and all that. It's just like
Yeah.
I felt like such a cultured Italian, you know what I mean?
Very.
Yeah, no, but it's an amazing experience. So
Speaking of Italian, in Canada, one of the best Italian food you can get is in Hamilton because they have a massive Italian community and the restaurants, everything else is like pure Italian. So,
speaking of Hamilton,
Mm.
one of our plans that I'm so looking forward to as well is go to Hamilton and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Last time we went to Hamilton, we went to see waterfalls, which were amazing. You were kind enough to show us, you know, everything because it used to be your town. You
Yeah,
used to live in
I
town.
lived in Hamilton for 3 years. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you said that there is an ice cream shop there that is like a
Yes.
secret ice cream shop. No one knows about it, but only this like kind of people know about.
Totally secret. There's only 2 locations where you can get that ice cream in Canada,
Right.
and that place is one of them, and that ice cream is just to die for.
So let's give them a little promotion. What's the name of the ice cream place?
The name of the ice cream place is Biggie's, but the ice cream they sell is Hewitt's ice cream,
Uh-huh.
and Hewitt's ice cream you can't get that anywhere. It's only in the dairy in around Muskoka and in Hamilton, so it's a very limited kind of ice cream. But the taste, I think you can testify to that. The taste is fantastic. So
let me just quickly. I forgot about something. I'm gonna do the reserve copy of this recording because I so do not trust my equipment right now.
yeah, no problem.
So you actually brought me and Nikki, who was
Yes.
also with us.
Yeah.
You brought me to that ice cream place, and that was amazing. I got myself some rum. I think rum, just
rum
rum,
and raisin,
rum
rum
and
and
raisin.
raisin milkshake.
And but the best part about them is just the portions, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, and that was Wednesday, so I actually broke my rules and actually was eating something not on the weekend like that, you know, with the carbs and sugar and all of that. So that was like double, like, well, and I didn't actually get the ice cream. I just remembered it was a gigantic ass milkshake that they
Yes.
make out of that ice cream. So
Yeah.
they also sell milkshakes. Oh my god, that ice cream, man. So
Yes.
that being said, we've been discussing this thing where we will go to Hamilton because right next to that ice cream place
is a fantastic pizza place. It's the Chicago style deep dish pizza, and those pizzas are this thick, and one personal pizza is for like 2 or 3 people. So
ever since you told me about that pizza, man, I am craving it. I've been craving Chicago style pizza for several years. I only had it once. I just want that Chicago style pizza. So I proposed to you and Alex, another friend of ours,
yeah,
let's go to Hamilton on a cheat meal day and pig out on pizza first.
pizza first.
And then we're going to cross the road and we're going to get that ice cream to top the whole thing off.
Exactly.
And then we're going to go back to Toronto and we're going to party.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Yeah, that's life, right? Can't be better.
But seriously, man, I'm so excited about that. So we'll see how that's so you're down, right? Alex is down. Are you down?
Yeah, I'm down.
And
now,
you said
now
someone else
that
is
I've
coming.
said it on video, I'm down.
Awesome. And someone else is coming too, right? So it's gonna be like a real deal.
Someone else might be coming, but like 3 of us will surely be going.
Oh my god, I am just obsessed with food right now. I don't know why, but I'm lately so hungry. Anyways, and that's how you lose weight, everyone. You just starve yourself to death. That's how you lose it. Anyways, how's your coronavirus pandemic lockdown going, man?
Oh, it's like the thing is, I've tried to make the best of the situation, which is, and just try to stay positive because That's the only thing you can do. And if you stay positive, you can make any situation work out for you. And I believe that's what I've done. I've made the situation work out for me, and I'm better off than what I was before the coronavirus, physically, and my physique and everything. It's
Bro,
yeah.
I saw your push-ups on Instagram. You're doing one-hand push-ups, and you're not just pushing ups, you're actually jumping with the whole body up.
Yeah, I'm doing clap push-ups one hand.
Clap,
So
one-hand clap push-ups. That's some crazy stuff, man. Like that was, I don't know. I tried to attempt it in my mind.
yeah.
Even in my mind, I was like, this is not possible. Like I don't think I can do it. So that's impressive, man. Did you always do that? Or like you
No,
just
no. I'm just. It's in my. So I always want to push myself physically to do things which people can't do. So first off, I started doing regular clap push-ups. Then I added weight on my body, 40 pounds, and doing clap push-ups. I progressed, and then one day I thought I actually hurt my shoulder, so I couldn't wear the armor on. So I thought, why not? I'm doing it without the weights. Let me try a one hand clap push up. And I could do it. So, it wasn't tough. I mean, it was tough, but, I could do it. So once you start doing it, it's like normal. So that's my thing. I want to, like, physically, I would just want to push myself towards, like which most people can do, and that's my niche. That like physically I'm kind of strong, so it helps.
well, you're also yeah. It's very very how do you say it? Very
Very
how,
modest.
modest. Yeah, that's
Very
the word. Very
modest. Yeah.
modest of you to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that.
Thank
Hey,
you.
I saw you. Like it's crazy to be without a gym. By the way, like my gym is closed here in the condominium that I'm living in,
Yeah.
and so it's been closed for like 4 months now or 5 months. I don't know. So
Yeah. Since March, first week of March or late Feb, it's all the gyms have been closed.
which, by the way, I think partially the reason why I got so skinny or I lost some weight because whenever I go work out and then like I
Yeah.
just crave food and I feel like I'm just overeating, even though like I didn't burn as much calories as the thing I did.
Yeah.
So this time, like I just realized that with the healthy just lifestyle and just making sure you're not overweight or anything like that,
Mhm.
very little of it has to do with the gym. The gym is really for your muscle increase.
The gym is just for definition
Yeah,
and muscles, but you don't need to go to the gym to get skinny or to lose weight.
exactly,
Losing weight always happens in the kitchen.
exactly.
Always.
And so I just proved to myself, like, that's not the first time I'm dropping 30 pounds, but
Mm.
it's just like I proved myself. It's basically like in my terms, is like I'm not eating after 6,
Yeah.
and I'm eating pretty much a very strict, like limited carb diet where it's just like spinach, chicken, lettuce, avocados, tomato soups, what else? Eggs,
Hmm.
oatmeal, almond milk. That's pretty much my diet for the week.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So without gym, it's kind of crazy. But I started working out. Like I completely dropped the workout. I not even didn't even do push-ups. So this week I actually started. I'm like, okay, I'm
Nice.
skinny enough. So like let's bring some sexy into this, right?
Yeah.
So I started doing push-ups and everything actually. There's like stones here that I have like I'm lifting. So I'm just like and I had muscle before, so I have this muscle memory. So like boom boom boom, like I got something right away. But also what I noticed is that I was so hungry afterwards. Like all of a sudden my body required more energy
Yeah.
because I was actually working out, and that's where I'm like I think that's why I'm going crazy right now.
If you're hungry, I have a good like shortcut. So you get like 100% cocoa chocolate from Lindt.
Hmm.
It's very dense and it's very healthy because it has no sugar, no
Hmm.
carbs. It's just pure fat and just a little bit of calories. So you
Mm.
can have that. It's very dense and you have a couple of like bites of it and
Hmm.
you're set. You're not hungry anymore.
Hmm.
So
Where can I buy it?
you can buy it at shoppers anywhere. You get 100% cocoa.
Well, Lindt is like this candy though.
Lindt Swiss chocolate, Lindt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have 100% cocoa chocolate too,
Huh.
and it's very accessible. It's not super expensive, and if you're feeling hungry, just have a couple bites and you're set.
I'll
Or
try it, and it
or
sounds
Brazil
delicious.
nuts, or Brazil nuts.
Tim Ferriss was. I'm reading to this book, listening to this book, 4 Hour Body, and he was talking about Brazil nuts. I don't. What's Brazil nuts? I don't think I ever had.
Brazil
Maybe.
nuts are these like big nuts, and they're very dense. You have two of them, and you're set. Two or three of them, you're set, and you don't feel hungry anymore. So there's a few steps to control hunger. These are one of the healthier steps. There's also
Hmm.
more unhealthy steps, but I won't recommend that on camera.
Why not?
Uh,
Don't recommend it. Just say what you did.
well, sometimes say I didn't have access to food, I was out, just drink coffee, and it suppresses your hunger.
And that's pretty
coffee
common. Coffee and
and
green tea.
coffee. No, coffee. More
Yeah,
so coffee,
yeah.
and just lots of water.
Mm.
And that does suppress your hunger, but again, that's not healthy. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
suggest doing that.
Staying hydrated is pretty tough.
Yeah,
Just because I'm just so lazy to drink water.
yeah.
Like I to the point where I would have like a notebook and I have like little lines of how many cups I did, and then I'll cross them off like, and I had to do like 18 of them, like 18 cups per day or something
Yeah.
like that. But it really helped. It really helped with like your face looks better afterwards too.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see it, like there's a noticeable difference in your face structure. You can see the cuts.
I look like I'm 19 again.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely be a model
I
now.
just talked to my mom on the phone,
Mm,
and we were just talking about that, just the different stuff, and I kind of mentioned that, yeah, like I want by the age of 35,
mm,
where I'm more established, in Canada or whatever with my career and all of that,
yeah,
to still have the ability to, because I think we talked about, like, you brought that thought to me about actually traveling and experiencing different things, right? And I was thinking, like, if by the age of 35 I'm still as powerful physically, and as motivated, that would be great to actually, take some time off at 35, for example. Well, it's arbitrary date, maybe 33, 32, or whatever,
mm,
and just do something like, I want to go to Europe and just live in Europe, for example, for a sec for like, let's say 3 months in France,
mm,
or 5 months in Italy or something like that, and just like chill and see what's up.
yeah.
Actually, it sounds too long just to chill. Like, I gotta do something. I
The
cannot
thing
just
is,
chill.
the thing is, uh, these things after 5 years, after 10 years, they don't work because they're so far out in the future. And when you're that age, something else comes up.
Hmm.
Then you're like, oh, I can't go. So
That's true.
what I think is you have to live in the present. You can't be like, oh, I'll do something after 3 years after this happens. No, you got to do something now. You have
Hmm.
a duty towards your present to make it good, because got in life is supposed to be enjoyed, not supposed to be it's supposed to something to be enjoyed. Like, we're so lucky to have life, because I was watching a video saying that what are the chances of you being born. I think they were 110 raised to the power
Like 1 in a billion or something.
20 quintil. No, it's 560 quintillion. That's the chance, one in that chance you have.
Hmm.
So to put into perspective, from what, like, I'm a bit on the number,
Hmm.
but it's more, the chance is more than the all the number of atoms in the whole universe.
Hmm.
They're lesser than that chance.
Hmm.
So the fact that you're alive is like, you're so lucky. So I mean, you have a duty towards life and yourself to make the most of it, and not just be a slave to some work, or a 9 to 5 job,
Hmm.
like, 'cause
Hmm. Yeah, there
why
is
is
something.
that?
I definitely see, like, the meaning in that, and it's definitely inspiring, especially like
Yeah.
to see that the chances of you being born so small. Yeah, I guess I'm just still going towards it. It's been a wild ride, for me.
Hmm.
I'm just checking the mic. 1 2 1 2. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride for me. Like, in the past 10 years, like, I hopped like from one continent to another, and blah blah
Hmm.
blah, and try. So I'm finally settled, and I guess it's time for me to kind of think about life, from a different perspective, rather than
Hmm.
the constant like rat race or whatever.
Hmm.
But still, like, giving like where I come from with my culture and all, like, I feel like I will never get rid of the feeling where I just need to, like, chill. But I think what I can do, however, is to
Hmm.
find a balance, and I feel like that's where I should go towards to, is just like trying to find that balance between leisure and productivity, making sure, like, and by the way, productivity makes me feel good. Like, when I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
like when I'm at work, and I do something, I know that I helped, my colleagues, or something like that, or I contributed or something like that.
Hmm.
It makes me feel good. It's like, oh, nice, like, I contribute, I'm the part of the team or something like that. So
Yeah.
there's also something in that, some pleasure in that as well. But yeah, that's something that I talked to my mom, and we talked about that as well. It's I actually forgot why we're talking about this right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we should have fun. I'm actually excited for the party and for Hamilton, and then next time we should go to Niagara. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's gonna be another one.
Take pleasure in the small things in life. Don't wait for something big to happen. So that's the way to live, and that's the way to beat this nasty situation we all are in. Like, so many things are happening around the world. It's nothing's gonna be the same again after 2020.
Speaking of the nasty things, so what do you think is going to happen here with the lockdown? I mean, we're kind of opening up, but we're still, everyone is on the edge.
Yeah.
itch. And where do you think? Like last time, it's funny. By the way,
Mm.
last time you were here on this podcast,
Yeah.
I was asking you about real estate in Canada.
Yeah.
And I said, and you said there's so much immigration here that the real estate is like solely depends on that immigration because they rent like me, like I'm renting this apartment and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so the only thing to actually affect the real estate market significantly in Canada or specifically in Ontario would be the black swan of decreased immigration.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, in 2 months, that black swan happened, and we actually discussed that. So that being said, what do you think is happening right now? Because we're still restricted with Canada; no one can come in here.
So I just heard the news. They've started the express entry process again.
Didn't they always had it? Like they didn't
No,
stop.
they had stopped
They
it for
just
the
didn't let
past
anyone in.
3 months. It was closed because there's no point in having an express entry if people can't come from outside, right? So now they've put out the pool again, and they've started the express entry. So it's still Canada. The immigration is still gonna happen, but it's
But those who received express entry, whatever invitations, are they getting into Canada right now? They're not letting in. They're not being let in.
so they've put out the invitation right now. So right now no one's coming in, but the invitation's out. So the process has started again, which had stopped for the past 3 or 4 months. Before, only people inside Canada were allowed to apply in for the past 3 months who had Canadian experience class. But now people from outside can also, like, that process has resumed again. So that's happening. But again, with the property market, I feel that it is there's going to be a impact, and the impact you've already seen. Like, never before in the past 5 years have apartments or condos or houses been going below their asking price. But they have started now. And the areas like Yonge and Eglinton and all those areas which are so expensive,
Yeah.
they're seeing the maximum impact of that. And there's some even in the renting market, people are giving out 1 month's rent free, like if you sign a contract and all of those
Damn.
things, which you like people are fighting for getting a apartment for rent. They used to be like 10 people. Now it's surprisingly the renters market right now.
Is that like an anecdotal, or you're reading about this somewhere? Like, how do you know
It's
about this?
no, it's I've read about all of this, and just seeing, just keeping your eyes open, because I go around the city sometimes, like while doing, I also do like something on the side, like I deliver food. So I see all those areas, I see the ads and everything, and just things on the street. Things are so different now. uh like, never before. I've been in Canada for the past 4 to 5 years. I had never seen anyone before, just, when you're stopped on the signal, uh, trying to wash your car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because they want money,
So
and
there's someone like tries to wash your car for money
yeah,
on a
and
stop sign.
on stop signs, and that has happened to me 3 times in 3 days, and never had I seen it before. So something, the impact is there, and I know this might just be a very generic, but it's an observation, and things are changing. You're seeing a lot more of people on the streets asking for food, money than before, even in a place like Canada, like, which is very surprising.
Yeah, I thought there was some sort of payouts for people who lost their income or something
There
like
is a
that.
payout, but there's still some people who don't have access to it, and those people on the streets are a good example. I don't know how that's happening, but again, it's not reaching. I don't think it's reaching everyone. So yeah, that's a case. And with the property market you were mentioning,
I'm hearing that there's like a lot of people are actually defaulting on their how do you call them,
on their mortgage
on
payments.
their mortgage payments.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's kind of trickling down as well, and because they're defaulting, like the actually I know how America works, but I'm not sure how Canada works with when the like when you default on your mortgage. Does the bank actually take this away, or it goes to like an auction? Like what's happening?
I can't be sure,
I mean,
but
not
it's
not like
either
right away. They're probably
either of
working
those
it
two.
out.
Yeah, they would try to work something out.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so again, you will see once these benefits run out, you're gonna see a lot more because people who own the house, they would want some cash,
Mhm.
and the easiest way to get cash would be to sell the property or the condo. So you'll see a lot more condos or houses on the market, and all those investors. So because in Toronto, a lot of these condos, apartments, they're owned by foreign investors who
Right.
don't live here,
Right.
and in due time they will need some liquidity with them because everything is going down, economy is in a bad shape
Mhm.
worldwide, China, America.
Mhm.
So a lot of those people would want to sell these apartments because they're still at a good price and you'll see a larger supply. And that's
So
how
that means the price will go
the
down.
price will go down. And I assume after 1 year would be a fantastic time to buy something.
You think?
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming myself.
Mhm.
After 1 year, I want to get a condo for myself too.
I was looking into like the possibility of maybe in the future purchase a condo and everything, and then
Yeah.
I learned about the condo maintenance fee or whatever they call them.
Oh yeah.
Man, the average fee here per month is like 400, $500 straight cash. You just give them.
It's a
I mean,
dollar per square foot mostly.
yeah,
And in some apartments it's good, it helps because they cover your heating, cooling, and
true,
parking.
true,
But in some apartments it's just a rip off, they don't provide anything, and I've
right.
seen places which have $600 to $700 per month
Hmm.
and they have no amenities.
Right, and so I looked at this and I was like, damn, like so I calculated everything. I
Mm.
downloaded a bunch of or whatever, found a bunch of calculators and all of that. I was just like, wow, like it's definitely something that you really need to think about. It's not like a house that you just buy and you're like, okay, there's a tax
Yeah,
and whatever.
but
So
you're also paying a property tax over the condo fee as
plus
well.
the property tax on
Yes,
the condo. So
exactly.
all of that needs to be like applied. And I was like, well, here I am renting this condo
Yeah.
for $2,100. I'm
Hmm.
renting this one. And I was like, well, if I actually bought this condo like this, it would cost me probably in the range, well, I don't know, like 2,500, 2,600 per month or something like that, just to pay out the down payment and then your taxes and then another time the mortgage, the taxes, and then the condo fees,
Yeah.
plus like the whole utils, plus like it's kind of like adds up. And I'm like, okay, so you really need to time the market, I guess, or try it at least to attempt, and you really have to make sure that your finances are in order if you would like to invest in something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not saying like I lost my ambition to get into real estate, but I'm saying like, okay, there's more to it than just like you buy and you don't rent,
Have to be patient. Just
Yeah.
so I assume after 1 year would be a good time to get
Hmm.
into the market.
Hmm.
And yeah, when the prices are not so ridiculously expensive.
Right. I was just thinking, I was talking to about someone with that, about that, is that I don't think. Do you think we're past the crisis point, the low point? We bottomed out on economy. Do you think we're going up
No,
now?
no, the bottom is yet to come on the economy.
I
We
think so too.
not even scraped the surface of the economy.
Right.
Things are gonna get worse. There are gonna be some major losers as part of the company. Like what
You think?
companies fail? Yeah, there's a lot of companies are gonna fail. But
Hmm.
again, every crisis is an opportunity for some people, and
Hmm.
you'll see a lot of companies which do well, and you'll see new leaders in the market.
Hmm.
And so this, as I said, this is a very monumental. This year, 2020,
Hmm.
is a year of major change. Not just coronavirus, just geopolitically, everything, like the world order is changing, and it's
Hmm.
changing fast. And I would even compare 2020 to 1945 or some other major years when
Hmm.
major changes happened.
Happened in 2008, like as well with the business industry. Like there was a major renaissance in the Silicon Valley, with the
Mm.
startups and all of that. They kind of digitized everything, and I feel like
Yeah.
this will, I guess, affect a lot of. It will affect the way how businesses work, like the merchant businesses,
Mm.
the mom and pop shops, the brick and mortar stores. I feel like the restaurants, for example.
Yeah.
I do see in Toronto they're trying to put up patios instead of on Queen Street. I don't know if you saw that,
Hmm.
but now they just block half of Queen Street and then they put tables on it so that we have like the restaurants have patios. I'm like, well, that's nice, but like, okay, it will give you like 2 months of profit, a little bit, or
Not even profit.
not even profit, but
Those
you
guys are just
make it up.
trying to stay alive.
Exactly, and it's kind of sad because I
Yeah.
I know that it's not gonna make them much, especially like I would understand in California, but like in Toronto, where it's like it's gonna be winter in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think people will imagine the way how bars and restaurants are working the hospitality system.
No, we will have in-house dining again,
Hmm.
and as soon as phase 3 happens, probably in the next couple of weeks. It's already happened
What do you
out.
mean phase three?
Phase 3, you will.
Aren't we in phase five right now?
We're in phase 2 right now in Toronto.
I thought we like phase five.
No, phase 3
Jesus
is
Christ.
outside Toronto, Peel and Windsor region. That's
Uh
phase 3.
huh.
And in phase 3, gyms can open, you can have in-house dining, but that
Hmm.
doesn't mean you have
What's
to
an in-house dining though? I thought it's just eating at home.
no, in-house dining is like you can go into the restaurant and
Oh,
eat
like
food.
inside.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, got it.
yeah. So so that's gonna start happening in Toronto in the next couple of weeks, which is gonna give them some respite. But man, like the bars, restaurant, the hospitality industry is hurting. Like they're hurting bad, and
Hmm.
a lot of them have closed down, and a lot more will close down. And if things keep up, you'll only be seeing just major chains remaining. All those standalone chains, restaurants will just they can't survive.
Yeah. I mean, and I talked to Fabio Campanella, which was he's in a CPA and he has an accounting firm, and we were
Mm,
talking about that as well. He also said that there's going to be a major transformation in the way the businesses work, the food industry works, and the grocery chains are working.
yeah,
But another thing that's I think is going to majorly change is just the way people go to work, like the
yeah,
office work.
oh,
You
yeah.
know, I heard it several times. The CEOs were saying like the way you went to office and just worked with everyone, that's over. It's never going to come
Has
back now.
changed. It's changed,
Yeah,
and I don't think that's a bad thing
not necessarily. No.
because it'll save you hours and hours of your time every day are
Right.
wasted on transportation and
Right.
commute. That's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have more productivity because you're spending more time. And yes, it's a bit challenging to work from home because you're not used to. Uh, it's hard to make a difference between your home and work. Then
Right.
yeah,
Right. And it's funny at work, like we were discussing that as well, and someone mentioned is like, it's not that you have to constantly sit at the desk, but you have to like majorly rethink your schedule. Like
yeah,
for example, you go grocery shopping and then you work, and then after that you
yeah.
like you sort of immerse your work with your day-to-day experience so
Mm,
that you're still, but it's only the workplaces that are very progressive that think about that, like let's reimagine the work, you know.
yeah.
But it's a matter of how the leadership will understand, like, or they're just going to require to track everyone and making sure that you clock in and clock out and sit in front of the laptop. Like I'm not a proponent of that kind of work, but I feel like the smart way is actually immerse you, like to make a hybrid of your work and your day-to-day life. And
And you see the quality of life will improve so much because of that,
hmm
because say if you have a family, you have more time to spend with your family.
hmm
You can work, it's not just all about work, so you can do both. And I just heard news from Siemens,
hmm
the German
right.
company. They said you can work from anywhere. So
Yeah, and I think
say
Facebook did that too or
yeah,
something.
so say you were based out of Canada, but
Oh, that's gonna
you can go
be
to the Caribbean, you can go to Australia and work from anywhere. Now that's gonna be huge.
my friend just texted me about the same thing. Barbados
Yeah,
is doing the same thing. It was like, if you're working remotely, come to Barbados. Like it's all cool, like legally wise, just chill with us.
yeah. So
So vacation.
vacation and work
Yeah,
combined.
that'd be pretty cool. Georgia is doing that too. That's what I heard.
Yeah, Georgia in Europe or the
Georgia,
state?
as in like post-Soviet country,
Oh
Georgia.
yeah, it's Georgia.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful, by the way.
Is it?
Visit Georgia. I never been, but like my friends were, and they're like, there's so much wine there. It's like a wine. It's like the Soviet Italy,
And it's
basically,
cheap.
and it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, man, let's go to Georgia.
Yeah.
Damn. But the other, like on the other hand, though, I mean, all these people in one place, like if you're with the family, like have you heard about the news about increased domestic violence because everyone is like sitting together? That's like another thing that people have to like sort of
Yeah.
figure out. Like, do you want to be with you? Like, I see people with children always complaining, like, I can't believe I'm with my kid like the whole day, like this is torture or something like that. Which is I understand, but at the same time, like, okay, now that it's our life, how are we gonna handle this?
So the thing is, things will start to become normal when kids start going to school, because it can be a bit much. Say you're with your kid all day long, 24 hours, and they can't go out.
Hmm.
It's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy. Now I don't have experience with that, but I can empathize
No, of
with the
course.
situation.
It's not like I'm criticizing. I understand. Like
Yeah,
it's just
it's challenging.
exhausting. Yeah.
It's challenging. No, yes, they're lucky to have a family and a good life,
Hmm.
but again, it's very challenging to be around your spouse or your kids like 24/7.
Of course.
You need your personal time.
Hmm.
when the kids start going to school and stuff like that, I think you will come to, like we were talking about, good balance. Right now it's
Hmm.
out of balance, it's on the other
Yeah.
side of the scale. A balance will come soon enough, and it's going to be, this is the best thing that is, I think, that could come out of this
Isn't that
situation.
crazy though to leave? It's the same thing. It's kind of sucks. Like we're always living. Our generation always lives through some bullshit.
Yeah.
First is the freaking, I don't know. For me, it was like the collapse of the Soviet Union, and then like. But
Mm.
actually, if the Soviet Union wouldn't collapse, I probably wouldn't be born because my father would go back to Afghanistan or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like Soviet Union collapsed, and then my life is going. It was like the 90s. By the way, my childhood was pretty happy, so I loved it. But like
Mm.
still, like in our generation, like, there was like the 90s that were very crazy in Soviet in Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
and then there was like 2000. I don't know, really didn't know, but like in America, there was like the whole dot-com bubble or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but then 2008 crisis. So that's another setback that like people like, I don't know. I feel like our generation is always going through some crisis. Now we have this thing, and like we're never at the point where like awesome, like life is
But
great.
that's what's making us stronger too,
That's true.
because
That's true. I
yeah,
agree.
because you go through adversity, you know what thing is.
Hmm.
And again, it's not, like we have it pretty good despite the
It's
crisis.
true
We
too.
have so many amenities, like you can't even imagine living through the 1940s when the world war was
But
going on.
yeah, yeah. I mean, 80s and 70s, I kind of can imagine.
60s, 70s were like, in America they were good, but in
That's
the rest of the
true in
world they weren't
America.
so good. So
That's
we
true.
always look through the American
It's like
viewpoint.
it's
Yeah.
like when people like to come to America or they look in America, they're always like thinking about like Beverly Hills and California or New York City or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no one's talking about Idaho or Iowa or like
Or like,
uh,
or Detroit or
Detroit. Like
Baltimore. Yeah.
exactly. But it's like it's America. Like, didn't you want to go to America? This is America,
Yeah.
But no one wants to go there. But that's the United States.
Yeah, people think America is California or New York.
Here's another thing.
Yeah.
Do you think people will stay in big cities? I mean, everything is so
There's
remote.
been
What's
a
the point?
change. There's been a change. A lot of people are moving towards the countryside now because, A, like it's very expensive in the city,
Yeah, what's the point of paying so much rent if you
and
can work anywhere?
and now if you don't have to go to the office, what's the point of staying inside the city?
Exactly.
And staying in downtown, you can still stay in the city, but you can stay towards somewhere less
Just
expensive,
go to Hamilton at
free.
least.
Ancaster, Dundas, and Hamilton, they're like massive houses.
Yeah,
Like yeah, and you can buy for the same price a massive, like three times as the size of this
like
place.
absolutely. For the rent that I'm paying, like I'm definitely overpaying in rent
Yeah.
because what's the point of me being here besides this beautiful view? But also, like, what's the point? Like, I'm just sitting at home. Like, I can do the same exact thing in Hamilton.
Yeah.
So the rent is actually overpriced right now.
Way overpriced.
Yeah, if everyone's working remotely, then what's the point? All right, that's the thing.
That's why, that's another thing why commercial real estate, that's going, that's facing the maximum impact right now,
Hmm.
because a lot of offices, they are not renewing their leases
Hmm.
because everyone's now thinking, because it works out for everyone, work from home.
Hmm.
Companies don't have to provide real estate for employees to come in,
Hmm.
and since they can work from anywhere, companies can also, even if they want them to come to work, they can just move towards Mississauga or Hamilton, like that
Hmm.
area where rents are way cheaper,
Hmm.
and have a smaller establishment instead of downtown Toronto. Some companies, like if you're TD, RBC, yeah, you're doing capital markets, you're a stock trader, you need to be inside the core.
Hmm.
But apart from these core few businesses, you now I like you'll see some changes happening.
Hmm. That's what I'm looking forward to, just to learn, because as I said about our generation, yeah, we're going through some bullshit, but at the same
Mm,
time, it's kind of the game about adaptation.
yeah.
The most adaptive wins. It's like a natural selection, but
Survival of the fittest.
exactly,
Yeah.
and like the whole thing, like imagine like us, like adopting the whole remote work very easily,
Mm,
but some other people can't adopt remote work very easily. And I'm actually I mean, I want to also acknowledge the people who are just losing their job and uh, they can't do the remote thing because their systems are just not that, or like the craft of what they do is not adapted for like a laptop. What if they're like a baker or
yeah.
like a cook, right, or chief
Mm,
at the restaurant, and then the restaurant is closed and now you're a chief? And chiefs are actually uh like master chief or whatever you call them, like they actually earn really good money or whatever, but then without a restaurant, what are you going to do now? So people like that are high skilled but they're not in the digital world.
yeah.
The main problem is, what do we do with them?
Again, there's always something you can do. I lost my livelihood too, like when this happened. But hey, I made the most of it and I'm doing decent.
Hmm.
So there's, again, like things are gonna happen, but there's always something you can do about it. Are you just gonna say, oh, life is unfair, why
Hmm.
this happened to me? Or you can take action. If you take action, there's always a way out.
Right. Here's the point. Your argument is very ideological. It's like meaning like you have to rethink how you do, right? But what if you have like it's the point I'm making is not just a particular person who is just like needs to be adaptive, but I'm talking about like the whole layer of the population who are very high skilled in something, and they're not like us, who are don't have wives and don't have kids or
Yeah.
whatever. They actually are having like families and obligations, and they have mortgage to pay, and all of that shit is expensive. So like they like I agree with you, they need to do what you just said they need to do, but I think for them it's just harder for them to kind of imagine like starting this. I mean, it's for overall, like some of them will succeed, but some of them will fail.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with people who will fail? How do we bring them up?
Yeah.
And I actually thought about that as well. As I think the idea that is, which by the way I didn't support at the beginning, but now I'm not saying that I'm supporting it, but the idea of the universal basic income, I don't know. It kind of seems like people are getting closer to it a little bit because everyone is already kind of getting it in America and the Canada. Like this is the whole COVID
Yeah.
COVID thing.
And once you give people a taste of something like this, it's hard
Exactly. So they
to.
already have like, oh, like there is an infrastructure for it. You can actually receive money into your
But
bank
but
account.
then, if with universal basic income, what's the incentive to work? Because
Hmm.
in $2,000, if say you own your own place, you're
Hmm.
not paying rent. It's enough to get by. It's more than enough.
Exactly. But here's, I guess, then the question is why there should be an incentive to work. See?
Mm.
So that's the point. When we're going all back to the experiences, maybe they can just live happily. And
Yes.
Elon Musk just tweeted that as well about universal basic income. He was like, he's in support of it. And again, I'm not saying that I'm in support of it, but I see the argument. I can see like, yeah, there's something in it. Like you don't have to freaking slave yourself in some sort of a fast food chain job and get the minimal wage
Yeah.
for what, when you can just when the government can afford to do that for you, and you can then focus on something. I don't know, start a podcast or start something creative or try to invent something, or
Yeah.
I don't know, like I see that argument too.
Your mind, yeah, that's you have a fantastic point, because once you're not thinking about the menial things like, oh, going from 9 to 5 or working in McDonald's, or like just getting yourself just surviving,
Hmm.
your mind just becomes so open. You'll start thinking about all those creative things that you can do to help the society or to help yourself or whatever.
Hmm.
And we'll see a major increase in inventions, or something like that, which we've lost now, because
Hmm.
everyone's just trying so hard to survive in this world, just get get food on the table with the rent prices where they are, and everything.
Hmm.
If if you do have income, like someone's taking care of you, like I'm very grateful to Canada. They've taken care of everyone so well.
Yeah.
If someone's taking care of you, you're not thinking about where to get food. You're thinking about, okay, how can I, what everyone has some skill.
Hmm.
Everyone has a skill which they don't use or can't use because the mind is busy on basic things.
Hmm.
Once that's taken care of, I think you'll see a explosion of ideas and all those
Exactly.
things happening.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just crazy, right? That people still have to work so much just so they can have roof over their head,
Yeah.
just so that they can afford the rent,
Yeah.
and they have to put in like half of their payments or something. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird idea. I mean, and it's not like it's been around for a while, but now I feel like
Mm.
in the 2020, especially in Canada, United States, and Europe, thinking about that, that's like a little, yeah. I don't know. We can maybe
It's
fix
hard
that.
for the states to do it because it's just so many people.
Yeah, and
Canada
they
still
have,
can, yeah.
yeah.
Canada can do it. Northern Europe can do it. United
Mm.
States is just very
I don't
difficult.
think it's the people with the United States. It's the states itself, the 50
Mm.
states, the
Mm.
50 countries within the country.
Mm.
Because we think the United States is a country, but no, it's actually, it is what it is. A state is a country. The
Yeah.
translation is weird, but it's 50. It's the United Countries of America. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And all of them have like their different leaders, and all of them has right wing, left wing, Democrats and Republicans. They fight between each other, and the states fight between themselves and the Congress and all that. So it's
Yeah.
like it's politically, it's very sad, by the way, for the United States. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, unfortunately, the system is broken in the States,
Hmm.
where there's such a big, massive difference between the people who are doing well and the people who are not.
Hmm.
At least in Canada, as I said, the floor is very high.
Hmm.
I mean, even if you're not doing well, you can have enough money to survive and get by and not be
Hmm.
homeless. But the ceiling is also not very high in Canada
Hmm.
because there's a cap on where you can get of the tax system and everything. In the
Hmm.
States,
Hmm.
this the floor is not there. You can just
Yeah, yeah, and I hope they will figure this out at some
yeah.
point. But I don't see it being figured out anywhere soon. Like within the next 5 to 10 years, I don't see it. Think someone will
Mm,
figure this out.
yeah,
It really will take something major to do. Probably the aliens that are about to invade us.
the aliens.
On that note, let me take a pause and check that everything's working
Okay.
correctly, and then we'll come back.
Yeah,
Stay tuned, everyone. Anyways, we stopped at discussing the UFO news. Have you heard about that thing? What do you think about that? Do you even follow that at all?
I have, and I just I've just heard about it. I honestly don't have much of an opinion on it because it's just so fantastical. Like, oh, like
Do you?
it's
I
so
have
it's like a conspiracy theory. Or once something happens, yeah, like we'll see about it. But
I have a theory that they're just like, okay, let's give out some secrets, but not too much, so that everyone can be distracted by something else and not
I
focus too
know,
much on Corona.
and my what I think as well is just because it's all made, like it can be made up so that people have something to talk about, like you said.
Right.
They can be just be nothing to it, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't read too much into whatever is happening because
I
it's
know.
just so
It's exciting though.
fantastical, as I said.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. What do you think is going to happen to the world now? You said there's some tectonical shifts in the world at all.
Massive shifts. 2020 is gonna be a year to remember. Like your kids will read about 2020 in their books. It's that kind of a year. So again, a major change has been keeping coronavirus aside. Coronavirus has changed everything, but also there's a massive shift in the geopolitics.
Hmm.
You have two groups forming around the world. Like after the collapse of the Soviet Union,
Hmm.
the world was unipolar. Like there was just the United States, and there
Hmm.
was like smaller powers like
Hmm.
the European Union. You had China, and but United States was the top dog.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
right now, you are seeing the emergence of a new superpower,
Hmm.
and they are trying to assert themselves.
Who are the new superpower?
It's China.
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 Okay. And
And
how do they do it?
so China in the past, they haven't just gotten here just instantly. They've been working on it for the past many years. So what their way was to invest in poor countries,
Hmm.
invest the projects and loan them money,
Hmm.
which they knew they wouldn't be able to pay back.
Hmm.
Like countries like Djibouti and all those African countries, Ethiopia, they've made massive Kenya, they've made massive investments, billions of dollars worth of investments.
So I heard.
And Sri Lanka, and they know those countries can't pay them back. So what happens is if those countries can't pay them back, they take over the project.
Hmm.
And those projects are very critical infrastructure projects. It's not any projects.
Hmm.
So like in Sri Lanka, they built this massive port, and I think it's called Hambantota.
Hmm.
And of course Sri Lanka couldn't pay them back. Now they've taken over it.
Hmm.
And what that port gives them is access to the Indian Ocean, which
Hmm.
they didn't have before. And that's a major trade route.
Hmm.
And it's like very close to India too, which is like their enemy. And again, an example, Pakistan, they invested in a port, which of course Pakistan couldn't pay them back. They've taken over that port too. And if you see the trade route, that goes like this. And now they've struck a deal with Iran.
Cool Chinese.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Iran. So Iran has struck a deal with China now,
Uh-huh.
and they've taken over construction of some ports, some key infrastructure projects,
Mm.
and they've given them total control over it.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives the Chinese control over Strait of Hormuz, where most of the oil trade passes.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see China has asserting themselves on the trade routes,
Mm-hmm.
and you see an alliance forming.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, you have China and its client states.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, these countries, some of the countries are client states of China, which
Mm-hmm.
means they're just surrogates of China. They'll do whatever the Chinese tell them to,
Mm-hmm.
which is Pakistan, North Korea, and now you see Iran coming to that fray
Mm.
as their client state. And you also have some African countries which Chinese have total control of now.
Mm-hmm.
They control their politics, they control election outcomes, they control everything over there.
Interesting.
So now you have China and their client states, and on the other hand, you have countries such as Japan, Australia, the United States, India.
Hmm.
They're on the other side now. And uh, recently, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo,
Hmm.
he made a statement saying that unless if he said that if China will change everyone if like things go the way they are. So like they are being very vocal about it, the Chinese opposition, which is also something to do with the election which
Wait,
is coming up.
I don't understand. What exactly Mike Pompeo said?
I I don't remember the exact things he said,
Uh huh.
but he said that if we have to preserve our way of we can't let the Chinese change us pretty much. So edit this up.
Got it.
Yeah. So the point is that Chinese are is asserting themselves, and they are making problems with all of their neighbors,
Hmm.
which is a show of dominance, which is showing that okay, we are the powerful country here right now.
Hmm.
So just follow, like stay in line or fall by the wayside. They're having problems with Canada,
Hmm.
Australia. They almost had a war with India right now. A
What
major,
happened there? I don't know. Like between China and India, right? I remember Russia,
yeah, yeah.
China, and India supposed to have like a Skype call together, but then it got canceled because something was not right between China and India. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So I have a small, like I can't
Yeah, but just
talk
like
about it in depth.
just like in general, what was the conflict?
So China and India have this border dispute
Hmm.
along the Himalayas,
Hmm.
the Ladakh region.
Hmm.
And what happened was that like China now, like it was dormant for all these years, but they keep on coming in and going back
Hmm.
just to show that who's boss, like a lot of times just show that okay, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh I believe they came in and captured some of that territory, and
Cool.
Chinese
Okay.
didn't capture. They came in, and then Indian. So you would have heard some fights, which like 20, 30 Chinese soldiers and 20 Indian soldiers got killed in something.
Really?
Yeah, so they had a major fight.
Damn.
And but the rules of engagement are that they can't use weapons. So that's been laid out. So everyone was using, like Chinese, they were using clubs fitted with barbed wire.
What the hell? Seriously?
Yeah, they because you can't use weapons because
So
that
there was
was
like a medieval clash?
it was a medieval clash. Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, I haven't seen any news about it. I thought there's like some conflict, but no, like that.
Because China, they don't
What did Chinese have?
that's what Chinese had.
The barbed wire thing?
They had clubs
Uh huh.
uh with barbed wire and bayonets, like all those
What about
medieval.
Indians?
I think they didn't have that, so that's
Had
what
Indian
caused a
swords?
furor. No, they just had
Indians were like bare hands.
bare hands and some basic batons,
Sticks.
stakes, and something like that. Because
Are you kidding right now? Does
no,
that
I'm
really
I'm
happen?
totally serious. I'm totally serious. You can look that up, and it's very fascinating that in two nuclear powers are fighting with medieval weapons.
Was that captured on video?
There are pictures of it,
I mean, I can't
of those
imagine.
weapons.
Do you think that really happened though? I feel
That
like
really happened.
if it really happened, it would be on video though.
There is rules of engagement that you cannot use weapons, which was done in the 90s.
Uh huh.
So they were using, and Chinese did use those medieval weapons.
So then, if you're saying that Chinese had better weapons than Indians in that fight, did Chinese
The
win?
Indians weren't prepared
Okay.
because they came when the Chinese had those kind of weapons. But what happened was they were fighting, like from what I understand,
Uh
I
huh.
don't have in-depth knowledge, so don't quote me on it.
Okay.
So they were fighting. I think it's a mountainous region. It's like a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people fell off that cliff while they were fighting,
That's
both
some
Indian and
300
Chinese.
Spartan stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people fell off, and a lot of them died of hypothermia as well because there was a river,
Jesus.
and it's minus like that. That's a cold desert, Ladakh. That's like North Himalayas, like like bad, like very cold. So that's how a lot of people died. They fell off a cliff, and at least minimum 20 Indian soldiers died, 20 or 30 Chinese soldiers
Uh
died.
huh.
So it was a full on medieval time clash which happened.
Wow.
So after that, there was a huge buildup of armies on both sides. Chinese called in their weapons, their tanks, heavy artillery. India,
That was like May, right? May, June this
yeah,
year.
yeah, just right now, June, July. And India also called in their their fighter jets, and they're also buying some fighters from Japan, from France, Rafale.
Uh-huh.
So they advanced the delivery. So France delivered those aircrafts actually on July 20. They're supposed to deliver them tomorrow or day after.
Hmm.
And so they're flying in from France, those fighters.
Wow.
And all the Chinook, the Apache helicopters from
Hmm.
India's side, they were all deployed. Their C-130 Hercules, all like American.
Who's supplying China?
China, China,
Themselves?
China makes their own weapons,
Okay.
a lot of them. But the problem with Chinese fighters and equipment is that they haven't been battle tested, because China has never been in a war since Vietnam.
Hmm.
Their soldiers are not tested, their equipment isn't tested.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a major problem with the Chinese army and everyone. Because other armies have seen war, Chinese armies haven't seen war.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a small problem which they have. So that's the only thing. So that's what majorly what happened with.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a major escalation, almost led to a war.
Huh.
Almost.
It's cool. Like I'm on Twitter all the time, and Twitter was pretty quiet about it. I mean, I saw
Yeah,
some waves about it, but
yeah,
overall, and that's the thing, the Western Twitter or the Western say Twitter. I mean, like the elite of the journalism, they're all sitting there and all of that.
mm,
Like everyone is on Twitter right now who wants to hear the news. Like no one really concerns themselves with the rest of the world. They're all within America. They're all within Europe. Trying to like squash their politicals and philosophicals and
yeah,
ideologies and all of that. But no one's looking at China. No one's looking at Russia. No one's looking at India. Like what's happening there? Like those are like some powerful countries, and there's
yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Did you
It's
know about the major clash between China and Australia?
no when that
So,
happened.
so that also happened around the same time. So Australia just said one simple thing, that there should be an investigation about coronavirus. How did it start?
Mm,
And Chinese had a major backlash
mm.
towards it. Just they described Australia as a fly that or an ant stuck on the boot, which is causing them irritation that can be crushed. They refer to Australia like that.
Whoa, who said that?
Chinese
As in like
diplomat,
Chinese official?
Chinese officials.
God.
So major clash. China and Japan is having major problems. China, Indonesia, China and Vietnam,
Mm.
China and Canada.
Well, what did we do?
So we had arrested the chairman of vice president of Huawei.
Oh, really? Is
Uh,
that the? I think it was like she was the daughter of someone.
yeah, she's a
Yeah,
daughter of a very high-ranking Communist Party
yeah, I
member.
remember that now. That was like a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, so and I think he's part of the Communist Party, plus he is part of another very powerful organization. So she's a very powerful lady.
Is she
Eh,
still arrested? Is she still in custody?
She's in custody, but she's moving around fine. She's not in jail, but she's just confined to Vancouver, which you can have worse. I mean, it's a very beautiful
Oh
city to
my
be
gosh,
confined to.
not Vancouver.
Not Vancouver, right?
Ah.
So she's just confined there. In China, in retaliation, they arrested two Canadians on spying, charges of being a spy. And
Hmm.
it's a major thing that's been happening. China's having problem with everyone, because they're trying to assert their dominance
Hmm.
and showing that who's boss, and everyone have to fall in line with them.
I need to go to China and check it out. I feel like I don't know.
If you have a Canadian passport or US
Don't go right
passport,
now.
don't go to China,
Yeah.
because you can be arrested on, even if you've done nothing, just to have
Hmm.
some leverage. So I would not go to China. Even Hong Kong, we would not go to even Hong Kong
Mm-hmm.
for any time in the future, because it is
That's
not
true.
safe.
And we don't like. Where can you go right now? Like I don't even know like where can you travel right now without being like without being feeling unsafe. I would say. But that's crazy. I mean, how does coronavirus though? Does it play in someone's benefit at all, or it's just like everyone's sort of like the thing
Mm,
is, it's kind of like on the small scale we talked about adaptation. I feel like same with the countries.
yeah.
Like I was thinking, like I need to listen to some Russian podcasts to see where
Mm,
Russia stands right now with coronavirus
yeah.
because I don't hear any news about them. Like you'd think Russians, I did hear that Russians did the vaccine and then they gave it to the rich people and they're
Mm.
testing it out. But like, I want to see if Russia is actually hustling with this whole thing, or they're just like waiting on Americans to figure this out.
Mm. Because the thing is, do you believe every data that comes out of Russia too? Because Putin,
No, I mean,
he
I don't believe data that comes from America, to be honest. I mean, it's just because.
yeah, so America, yes, no, America, you have to believe it because there's so many other agencies. It is not controlled by one person.
Mhm.
You cannot hide deaths, you cannot hide infections.
But there was like a thing where you say like it's coronavirus, but he actually like died of someone else, of something else, and he additionally had a coronavirus.
You
So.
always have something else with coronavirus
Hmm.
because coronavirus weakens your immune system.
Hmm.
So you always have something else, or not always, you can also.
But your point being what exactly? That you
My
don't trust
point being
China?
is that you cannot trust, you have, like, you should trust America,
Hmm.
not trust, like, because it's very hard to hide data from
Hmm.
a country like America. There's
Hmm.
so many people, there's so much of media, uh things, you cannot hide any deaths or
Hmm.
infections, same as like a democracy like India or somewhere else. You cannot just hide because there's so much of media, there's
Hmm.
so many other actors into play.
Right.
But somewhere like China, they've uh, they've been supposedly free of coronavirus since the past 2 3 months,
Hmm.
which is unbelievable.
Hmm.
You cannot trust countries like China because
Yeah.
they it's in their best interest to show the world, to put on a face that, oh, we've controlled everything.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, they haven't, and their actual deaths, a lot of people say, are minimum 10 times more than
Right.
what they have actually said.
Well, here's the thing about Russia, for example. At no point I meant that
Mm,
like that I would trust the data or something like that. I'm just thinking like, here's a major power, right? Or at least that's how they view themselves, and that's how they establish themselves as a major power.
mm,
But at the same time, in the United States, they can just print cash and influx that into economy and the stock market, and we're still
mm,
doing fine, which I don't think is going to be for a long time. But it's working right now. Like everyone's still kind of holding up, and they give out $600 everyone and all that. In Russia right now, as far as I'm hearing, they don't give money like that. They only give
mm.
money if you have children, and
Yeah,
then they will give money.
yeah.
So I'm thinking like, is Russia going to be economically weak? Like obviously there
Russia
will
is
be.
already economically weak
And what are the
because
consequences of that, and how are they going to handle that, for example?
the only thing
That's
that
what I'm
can
thinking.
save Russia's economy is if the oil prices go up.
Yeah.
Because Russia now, unfortunately, is very dependent on oil prices.
Hmm.
Very, very dependent. Uh,
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas. If the oil prices stay where they are,
Hmm.
they have a very difficult time in balancing their economy because the Russian ruble has depreciated so much
Oh yeah,
the past 10 20 years. I
absolutely.
remember it used to be very fairly
in the
strong
in the in the
before.
past, I would say in the past, since 2015, I would say ever since the cartel decided to say we're not gonna increase the oil price, we're gonna just increase the
Yeah.
output of oil. That's where, because the currency of my country, the Kazakh tenge, also
Mm.
freaking crashed, and it's still crashed, being crashed even more.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and so I honestly, I don't see oil going up anytime soon,
Yeah. The world is gonna be a very different place.
unless someone will step in and say and tell the cartel, the OPEC,
Mm,
it's like, all right, this is it, like freaking stop the
mm,
output.
yeah.
But it's gonna be, I don't think it's going to be through diplomacy, unfortunately, or at
Mm,
least like I don't see the way to do that. But that's the point, right?
yeah.
The Because I was reading up on that recently, I was like, because I realized that Canada is also dependent on oil, and I was like,
It is.
because the Canada United States dollar kind of like, I saw the shift,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh shit, like, that sucks. And I looked back like 10 years ago. We actually, at one point when oil was $120 per barrel,
Yeah.
Canadian dollar was actually worth more than United States dollar.
Yeah. It was 1.1 or
Yeah,
1.2.
that was
Yeah.
before fracking and all of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, that'd be nice to live in those times. But now we're like, what, what is it, 0.7 or something like that?
0.75, I
Yeah,
think.
shit. But yeah, and I was like reading up on that, and apparently, this whole thing happened, I think around 2014, 15, and with the oil output, they all meet up together, the OPEC countries, to think like, what are we gonna do, because the oil's going like, well, they basically essentially they decide, it's like usually what everyone would expect, like they're gonna come up together and say like, okay, we're all gonna decrease output of oil, which will decrease the supply, which will increase the price.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. They're like, okay, the price is cheap, but we are going to just pump even more oil so that we're gonna actually have the same amount of money because of the quantity.
Yeah.
But everyone else is screwed, like Canada and Russia, all the non-OPEC countries, and Kazakhstan. They're actually supposed to swallow this price.
Canada's the biggest. Canada is they are the like they are a loser in this oil wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Alberta's economy, it's bad. It's
Might
bad right now, and
kind of reminds me though. I want to travel around Canada and see all
yeah,
those Albertans and everyone. I want to see you guys if you're watching Alberta. Shout out to Alberta, yo.
Alberta's beautiful though. Yeah.
It's all right. I haven't seen it, but probably will. We should do it. But yeah, man. So yeah.
So again, we have to adapt to the new world order, and just nothing's going to be the same. Traveling is going to be different. Everything's going to be different from now on, but things some things have changed for the better. So again, it's 2020 is a year of change. You've had locusts attacking cities and countries. You've had bushfires. You had like massive floods in China going on right now. Millions of people have been
I was thinking, like,
displaced.
are you making like some biblical references here with bushes and locusts or something?
I mean, it's open for discussion, but
Yeah.
like, if I were a religious man, I would be like, okay, something is going down in 2020 because you
Yeah.
have all these,
Well, we have elections of the American president.
and that's gonna be huge.
Okay, who's gonna win in your opinion?
Jo-
Do you think Trump's gonna get reelected?
Before, if coronavirus hadn't happened,
Mm-hmm.
Trump had a very high chance of getting reelected.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are seeing his response as inadequate and to the crisis,
Right.
and a lot of people think that America could have done better.
Mhm.
And so I think Joe Biden is gonna come back. So coronavirus has really hurt Trump.
Mm-hmm.
His handling of it. That's why he's trying to ratchet up the China.
I thought you were gonna say the UFO.
He's trying to ratchet up the the attacks on China, so people feel okay. There's this guy who's doing something against
Yeah,
China
yeah.
because
Optics.
yeah, it's more optics right now. But Joe
Mhm.
Biden is the bookie's favorite, as they might say right now.
So let's say Biden gets this.
Yeah.
What happens with S&P 500?
S&P 500, it's gonna go down a bit
Mm-hmm.
at first.
Mhm.
But again, the economy, regardless of who gets elected, the stock market isn't going anywhere in the next 2 years.
See, I thought like Trump is kind of pressuring the Fed, even though I mean he's not supposed to, but you can pretty much sure. But like, she's like, "Yo, print more money, print more money."
Yeah.
So I think like it's gonna crash for a little bit once Biden gets elected, and then Biden gets to blame everything on Trump. It's
Yeah,
like, yo,
exactly.
look at all this shit that went down. Like, it's not my fault. So I'm gonna like step in and fix this thing. Well,
Yeah.
the market will just bounce back, by the invisible hand or whatever, by the forces of the economy. I mean, it's whatever. What happens happens. But like, it's interesting what's going to happen.
Market is about to crash for sure,
And,
and
what the hell happened right now? Like, we bounced back like all-time high right now. What?
all-time high, and a stock like Tesla, which
Well, Tesla is bullshit, to be
it's
honest.
valued.
I don't believe in Tesla stock.
How can how can Tesla be valued twice as more as Toyota?
A car company, like, okay, I get it, like the lithium battery, but a car company is this popular. I mean, I get it. Elon Musk is the best at his PR, but that's what it is.
It's just a marketing and PR company, and how like that company is valued way more than Toyota right now, who have been in the business for years and years.
Oh my God,
Much
it's
better
hilarious.
financial situation, and Tesla stock is worth $1,600.
Listen, I
right
love
now.
Tesla. I'm probably gonna buy Tesla in the future. I don't want to buy like an emissions car. I want to buy the clean car. But I don't believe the freaking car company worth that much money. Like, the whole thing is just so overvalued. And
It's all show, and I'm
like, for example, sorry to interrupt. Let's say Elon Musk like decided to say I quit, or he gets sick or something, or he just like doesn't do it anymore.
yeah.
And the stock will just crash completely because the whole company is holding on this one guy.
Yeah.
Like, not the whole company, but the company outlook, right? Everyone's belief is just on Elon Musk and not on Tesla itself.
Yeah.
So how can you, like, while in Toyota, I don't even know who is the CEO, but I'm sure he or she will change, and there's going to be another CEO, and everyone's going to be fine because CEO is changing all the time. But with Elon Musk, who's going to be the next CEO? I don't know. So that's the point. Is like, it's not the Tesla stock, it's Elon Musk stock.
Almost like a cult.
Yeah, it's a cult stock. That's
It's a
how it
cult,
is. That's
yeah.
how they call it. Tesla stock is a cult stock.
Yeah. And Tesla is a very good indicator of how people's minds are right now,
Mhm.
because that's a classic case of a bubble stock. Like a stock like Tesla has gone up to $1,600, and not, I think at the start of the year it was close to 300.
Yeah.
It's 5 times. A stock like Tesla does not make sense.
Well, it's nothing but the best for the Tesla, but I don't think that's like they will
They will
probably
probably
invent a couple more cars. Their cars are not. Their cars are PR campaigns.
They are.
I strongly believe the company is planning to convince the world that Tesla cars is the way to go,
Mm.
and then basically they will sell. Okay, now that you see that our cars work, we're going to sell our proprietary software and our lithium batteries or whatever to the actual car companies like Toyota and General Motors and all of that.
Yeah.
And so you guys do Teslas. They will even sell the brand Tesla to whatever Toyota, for example, and they will just be supplying the software updates. It's going to be a software
They're
company.
going to be
and
like Intel or Nvidia.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and they will supply the lithium batteries,
Mm.
and probably they will then focus on Solar City part of Tesla.
Yeah.
See what that's going to bring them, and which is all good. It's all cool. I'm just saying, like, I'm not against Tesla. I love Tesla. Like the whole thing, Elon Musk and all of that, I support it. But I just don't think that Tesla is what people think it is.
It is not. And Elon Musk himself has said that for him, Tesla is just a way
To
to
go to
make
Mars,
to make his space. What's it called again? The space
SpaceX.
SpaceX work.
Yeah.
He is not passionate about Tesla. Tesla is just his way of getting SpaceX to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the end for Elon Musk. It's just a way to make money
Mm-hmm.
and profit. So again, he's not invested as much in Tesla as he is to SpaceX, which
Mhm.
people should remember.
Right.
So he might as he's not committed to Tesla as he's to SpaceX. So that's an important thing to remember. As since we said it's a cult stock.
Imagine if he sells right now, I don't know, 10% of his shares of Tesla. That's like probably billions of dollars. And he can invest that into SpaceX easily. So that's the point. Like
I
it
don't
works.
know. I don't know what company would be stupid enough to buy 10% of Tesla at this price.
Well, just in terms of like getting rid of the stock, there's always going to be a buyer or whatever. Just liquidize 10% at this price. I mean, you can always find a
No,
buyer.
no person in sane mind, no sane
I mean, at a
investor would
discount.
buy
Well, yeah,
Tesla.
but look at that. Everyone's buying it right now still.
Mm,
If they were selling it, the stock would go down.
yeah.
So they are buying it. I mean, you're not just going to sell 7% stake in Tesla, but just the shares that you have.
Yeah.
You know, you're just going to like liquidize those, and there's always going to be a market. My point is that he can just by 10% probably invest so much cash in SpaceX.
Yeah.
And so I guess the formula is working right now for him.
Yeah.
Well, and good for him. All I'm saying is I don't think Tesla is what it is meant to be.
No.
I think Tesla is the marketing strategy, and for something that is behind it, which is proprietary software, lithium batteries, and basically the cash generator for SpaceX.
Exactly.
As you said.
And I'm a car person, so I can talk something about the cars too. And it makes sense what you're saying, because Tesla's build quality as the cars itself. You just talk about the cars, it's atrocious. You have panel gaps this wide in those cars, and quality is very uneven. So again, their technology software is fantastic, but as an actual hardware car maker,
like craftsmanship,
it's terrible. So what you said makes sense, and that would be a good way to go for Tesla, because they can't compete with Volkswagen, like a massive group like Volkswagen, which has Audi, which has Porsche. In electric cars, they can't compete Toyota or Honda, which have years and years of car making experience, like building experience. So
and not just experience, but also infrastructure. You know, the supply chain of details and all of that. Right now, I believe. I mean, there's Tesla in China right now. They're production of parts in China. I think he mentioned something that they have like a factory in China.
In Shanghai, I think he has a gigafactory in Shanghai, and that was another. I mean, that wasn't very. So there was another controversy. So there's a Three Gorges Dam in China, which has the potential to collapse because there's floods going on right now.
Oh.
So there was some investors like the bears. There's a lot of people who are shorting Tesla right now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Lots of people
for the reasons that we just discussed.
Exactly. And so they had put up an idea saying that, oh, if the dam collapses, it'll and that was just stupid, because
it's
the
like
dam
when the show Billion, someone go collapse the dam so that everyone can win some money.
But it's in the opposite direction. So that was not true. But again, like I don't know why I brought that up.
But I mean, it's a speculation.
Yeah,
because of the Tesla investors are cheering for it. Well, Tesla shorters are.
There's lots of Tesla shorters, like lots and lots of them, and they're smart investors. They're not just anybody's.
Yeah.
So retail, and like mostly people who are very bullish on Tesla are retail investors. Like people like you and me who are like, yeah, Tesla,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they think the car company is cool. They're like, yeah, but you know,
I mean, I guess a big part of it retail investors, but I wouldn't think it got so like I just had the report that 75% of investors in stock markets are 50 years and over
yeah,
in age, which is crazy because everyone's talking about Robinhood Investors, which is the app that everyone in America is investing in.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm still waiting for an app like that in Canada for them to come to Canada.
There's an app called Wealth Simple.
Uh-huh.
It
Commission
doesn't.
free?
Yeah, there's no fees. There's no fees from Wealth Simple, and it's very easy to trade. So it is something.
Works with American Stock Exchange?
It does.
Uh-huh.
You can buy stocks on the Nasdaq and
Do
NYSE.
you use it?
I use it.
I'll check it out because it's interesting.
I've also used that. You can also buy, like, I've used some ETF because I feel that market's gonna go down. I've bought some shorts.
Okay. The
as
VIX or something?
Yeah, I bought some bear inverse bear 2x 3x ETFs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a reasonable thing to consider that the market's going to go down at some point. But whatever happened, like right now, with like in the past 3 months with the market, I was like, what the hell? Like right now, it's
There's another black swan event coming up, and it might
yeah,
very well happen. In China and US, the tensions are at the point of no return right now. They're saying things which they haven't said in years, like about each other. And
yo, mama.
China has just ordered the US to close its consulate in one of their cities. So that's another potential black swan event.
Yeah. Let's end this on something more positive, or
Yeah.
at least like let's end it with like something more laid back. Like, what are you up to right now? What are you gonna do in the future? What are your plans? You're turning 29.
I'm turning 29
tomorrow. I guess on Indian time, you already turned 29. So technically, you're a 29 age
Yeah.
person. What are your ambitions, plans, goals? I don't know, regrets, whatever. Just talk to me about your thoughts right now.
Right now, I have a very, you can say it's short term. It's a very, I want to make my present as good as possible because I can't control what the external environment is. It is what it is. I just want to make my present and as good as possible, and the future will follow. So that's always been my goal, and this will carry through as well. Like in the future, like as you said, like bucket list, we're talking about that.
Right.
I want to go to Tanzania, climb Mount Kilimanjaro, all that stuff, like have life experiences, and yes, do well at work too. But again, like for me, work is just something. What Tesla is for Elon Musk, that's what work is for me. Work is just a way to get money so I can do the things I want.
Right.
Like for me, work isn't, oh, it's my passion, I want to work for someone. Not really. I want to like build up my physique, look good. So that's my one of the major goals: become stronger, become fitter, and just travel, have new life experiences, and just like buy a house next year.
Awesome. So we can party there.
We can party there. And again, if like buying a house, that's one of my goals, and for that I'll have to get some money. So that's how work comes into play. Work is always something I can use to get where I want.
For sure.
It's not my end and all be.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to tell people. Like, yeah, just make use of your life, enjoy life, do things that you want to do, and don't think too much. And what will other people think? What will society think? Because from what I'm doing, I have 2 master's degrees and I'm doing modeling, which is, for most people, they can't think about it. They like, you're wasting your time. Like you don't need any education to do it. But like, it doesn't matter what other people think. Do what makes you happy. It's your life.
Well said, sir.
Thank
well
you.
said. Dhruv, thanks so much for coming into my podcast again. And this was a beautiful experience and how do you say it? Experiment. Let's see how this gonna work out. But I'm gonna edit this up and post it very soon. And I'm very excited to start the new season, the new chapter of Azizi podcast. And thanks so much for being the number one guest as usual.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And hey, if any of you guys want to ask me any questions about fitness, about anything else, you can message me on Instagram. DRUV26 is my Instagram handle, And yeah, anything at all?
Thanks, Dhruv.